is true? If so, have you cooperated with these inquiries? How's that for question one of a confirmation hearing?
Yeah, and if he goes to the confirmation hearing, imagine him sitting there when they get to the next follow-up question, which is going to be, did you receive immunity for your testimony? Because if he really did speak to the grand jury, which of course he did, and we know that his documents, his emails have come up in the guilty plea of another Trump campaign official, obviously the question of immunity has been raised around Sam Clovis's cooperation and testimony. The idea that you then confirm him to a senior administration position while he's getting immunity, potentially, for his testimony in a criminal matter, in a counterintelligence matter, yeah, doesn't feel like much of a prediction that this was going to fall apart, but I think you predicted it correctly.
And the position he's been nominated for is generally referred to as the chief scientist of the Agriculture Department. So all those science questions that the Democrats on the Agriculture Committee had, they've all been thrown away. But it's for the hearing that's never going to happen, right? We're not going to get that lucky.
You know, the Trump administration is on the hook for having named a talk show host to be the top scientist in the Agriculture Department. I'm a former talk show host. I believe it's a kind of science, but I wouldn't expect to be nominated to that kind of job myself. Yeah, this started off as a mess, and it's getting worse.
Thanks, Rachel.
Thanks, Lawrence.
Well, today, President Trump met with his cabinet. And as he looked around the room, he was looking at the group who Steve Bannon is telling friends might vote to remove him from office using the 25th Amendment. That's according to a new report. And John Kelly, the question for John Kelly tonight is, has he lost the benefit of the doubt about what he meant when he called Congresswoman Frederica Wilson an empty barrel, and what he meant when he called Robert E. Lee an honorable man?
This investigation poses an existential threat to the Trump presidency.
His top staff, quote, on edge amidst worries that Mueller's work isn't done.
The special counsel is saying to all the potential witnesses, the train is leaving. Now is the time to follow Papadopoulos and cooperate.
Paul Manafort is facing 15 years in prison, and to the extent that he knows anything that's incriminating to this White House, that's a scary prospect.
It is very distracting to the president, as it would be to any citizen, to be investigated.
He claims he's not under investigation.
The hallmarks of this administration has been to lie about contacts with Russia.
If in fact you do that, you lie to an FBI agent, that's a crime. And it's not something that Sarah Huckabee is going to be able to spin.
We still expect this to conclude soon.
And I would predict we'll see more action soon, more indictments, and possible plea agreements.
Do they wake up every morning feeling overwhelming dread that something terrible is happening in our country that they have no control over? I have no idea how that feels. If I drink enough. Welcome to the
club. We have so much to report to you on the utter chaos inside the Trump White House tonight. Jared Kushner is now Donald Trump's biggest problem in the White House, according to an explosive new report from Vanity Fair's Gabriel Sherman. By securing 3 indictments and 1 guilty plea, Special Prosecutor Robert Mueller has put the White House on edge again, and President Trump is blaming his son-in-law now, Jared Kushner. According to Vanity Fair, speaking to Steve Bannon on Tuesday, Trump blamed Jared Kushner for his role in decisions, specifically the firings of Mike Flynn and James Comey that led to Mueller's appointment, according to a source. Who could that be? A source briefed on Steve Bannon's call with Donald Trump. When Roger Stone recently told Trump that Kushner was giving him bad political advice, Trump agreed. According to, who could this be? Someone familiar with the conversation named Roger Stone. I just assume, I'm just wild guess, Roger Stone. Former Trump campaign aide Sam Nunberg told Vanity Fair, Jared is the worst political advisor in the White House in modern history. I'm only saying publicly what everyone says behind the scenes at Fox News, in conservative media, and the Senate, and the Congress, and of course, what has been said publicly here on this program many times. Steve Bannon also reportedly believes that the president must take drastic steps to counter these new developments from the special prosecutor. In a series of phone calls with Trump on Monday and Tuesday, Bannon told the president to shake up the legal team by installing an aggressive lawyer above Ty Cobb, according to two sources briefed on the call. So let's see, Bannon and who else? Bannon has also discussed ways to pressure Congress and defund Mueller's investigation or limit its scope. Mueller shouldn't be allowed to be a clean shot on goal, a Bannon confidant named Bannon told Gabriel Sherman. He must be contested and checked right now. He has unchecked power. And just to be clear, I'm just guessing as to who these sources are for Steve Bannon's communication about Steve Bannon phone calls. Gabriel Sherman has not revealed any of those sources. These are just wild guesses. Roger Stone is telling the president that defunding Mueller isn't enough. Stone wants Trump to call for a special prosecutor to investigate Hillary Clinton's role in approving the controversial Uranium One deal that's been a focus of right-wing hysteria. As Stone described it, a special prosecutor looking into Uranium One would also have to investigate the FBI's role in approving the deal, thereby making Mueller, who was in charge of the Bureau at the time, a target. Steve Bannon and Roger Stone are flailing away, trying to find impossibly ridiculous strategies like these because, as Vanity Fair reports, there is a growing concern about the president's ability to hold on to his presidency. For the first time since the investigation began, the prospect of impeachment is being considered as a realistic outcome and not just a liberal fever dream. 2 weeks ago, according to a source, Bannon did a spitball analysis of the cabinet to see which members would remain loyal to Trump in the event the 25th Amendment were invoked, thereby triggering a vote to remove the president from office. Bannon recently told would survive such a vote. Remember, 25th Amendment can be invoked by the vice president with a majority for Mike Pence to remove Donald Trump from the active presidency and for Mike Pence to become the acting president.